Good evening. I'm Jane Pointer, host of AZ Illustrated Science. A federal program is making it possible for many young adults with intellectual disabilities to go on to college. These are students who normally would not continue past high school. In a moment, we will tell you more about Project Focus and how it is teaching both academic and life skills. But first, we go to the Arizona Public Media Newsroom.
Members of several groups advocating for background checks for all gun sales are asking Arizona's 2 U.S. senators to vote in favor of expanding checks. The groups assembled in front of Senator Jeff Flake's Tucson office this morning to urge Arizona's newest senator to vote later this week for universal background checks. Pam Simon, who was one of the victims of the January 8th shooting, says universal background checks make as much sense as airline security checkpoints.
After 9/11, people said, what are we going to do to make air traffic more safe for our community? And so what did we decide? We decided to put people through some background checks. They have to go through a check before you get on a plane. No one, absolutely no one at that time said, oh, and the next step is we won't be able to fly at all. That's ridiculous. And that's where we are right now, with a ridiculous system.
Simon and others went into Senator Flake's office to present the staff with hundreds of letters urging the Republican to support universal background checks. A spokesperson for Senator Flake told Arizona Public Media that Flake opposes universal background checks but wants to incorporate mental health records into the background check system. At a recent town hall meeting in Green Valley, Senator John McCain said he too is not ready for new background check rules.
To somehow assume that to restrict guns from the hands of our citizens who are qualified citizens and do whatever's necessary in order to have a weapon, I think is a mistake, and I also think even more importantly is a violation of our Second Amendment rights.
A Senate committee could take up universal background checks as early as Thursday. President Obama has granted the Navajo Nation an emergency declaration following freezes in January that caused water pipes to burst across the northern Arizona reservation. And that's a look at tonight's headlines.
For young adults with intellectual disabilities, college has long seemed off-limits. But a new nationwide initiative is changing that. And as Gisela Tellis shows us, the University of Arizona is helping to lead the way.
Like any other 19-year-old navigating college life, Reina Kusa has places to go and things to do. She arrives at the University of Arizona ready to rush from class to class, play her part in a student-run club, and maybe squeeze in a bite of lunch with her friends. But unlike most college students, Kusa has an intellectual disability, and that means that for her, college was until recently out of reach. Now a pilot program called Project Focus is changing that. Project Focus is a partnership between the Tucson Unified School District and the UA College of Education, funded by a U.S. Department of Education grant of $2.5 million over 5 years. Its goal is to ease the transition between high school and college for students with intellectual disabilities, which can include autism, Down syndrome, and a number of other conditions. College can offer these students many of the same advantages other students enjoy, says program coordinator Phyllis Brodsky.
Our goals have to do with self-determination and employability, which really I think is just in line with any other student who's attending college. The reason that we sort of exist, and we're one of 27 other programs across the country also who are doing similar kinds of things. The reason we exist is we recognize that our students who have more moderate intellectual disabilities would otherwise not be able to access university life, university courses, and we feel like, as with any other student, it gives them some advantages.
Project Focus students like Reina Kusa enroll in regular classes, participate in university events, and even get volunteer and internship experience in the course of the 2-year certificate program. But the project is about more than time management skills and academics, Brodsky says. Like other college students, Project Focus participants have a chance to experience a world beyond what they've known and to learn to live independently and make choices.
When you think about choices that we make every day, and everything from the smallest choice, what to have for breakfast, to those bigger choices, who do we want to spend the rest of our life with? What do we want to study? Where do we want to work? Where do we want to live? Those are those big choices that our students often haven't had enough experience or haven't been given a voice in order to make those decisions.
On Tuesday, Edgar went to the women's basketball game.
Project Focus staff helps students and their families adjust along the way. Campus life instructor Allison Burnett, for example, connects students to university events and teaches them new social skills. She says she's been surprised by the campus community's support for Project Focus students and by the remarkable changes she's seen in the students themselves.
The first few months that they're here, and we let them kind of go on campus and say, hey, I'll meet you at the rec center, or I'll meet you in the union, that they do it, that they're there, that when they're given that opportunity, how much they grow. So it's a really beautiful experience to see when you do hold high expectations, they meet them and they exceed them.
And I said, no, don't do it.
Because you think that I shouldn't?
Yeah.
So would that
The other piece that makes Project Focus work is a system of peer mentors. 21 peer mentors, all of them fellow college students, spend 20 to 25 hours a week supporting Project Focus students. That can mean everything from eating lunch or attending pep rallies together to providing instructional support for classes or talking through problems. But the goal is to preserve a sense of independence, says peer mentor Melissa Tweet.
It's walking with them in every single step of their day, working with the decisions that they want to make, and promoting them to make those decisions and to be independent in that way.
Peer mentors help make college life more manageable and fruitful for Project Focus students. But they, too, find themselves transformed by the process, Tweet says.
It's made me think a lot more about other people's struggles. It's just opened my mind to different ways that people communicate with one another, and different drives that people have, if that makes sense, and being sensitive to that and loving everyone for who they are.
I know we can do it. Good job.
Yeah, we can.
For Raina Kusa, the benefits of her almost 2 years with Project Focus are already very clear.
It was stressful at first, but I got over it, getting used to it. Yeah. I didn't get to be independent before. Now I am. I feel really happy about it. Making friends and making them laugh. I feel more freedom than ever before.
Although Project Focus is working to make itself sustainable, its future is still uncertain. Not everyone has been as supportive of Project Focus students as their classmates and peer mentors are, says Brodsky.
I think we are still fighting a number of preconceived ideas that people have about people with intellectual disabilities. So people have already decided who can and can't attend college based on the structure that is currently in place. And we are way outside of people's typical concept of what that looks like.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Project Focus hopes to continue its fight, Brodsky says, so that more students like Kusa will find the freedom and opportunity they never thought they could know.
You are handling this so well.
Yeah?
Yeah, you are being...
As we've seen, Project Focus can have a profound effect on the lives of young people with intellectual disabilities. Here to discuss the program further are Project Focus Director Dr. Stephanie MacFarland and Carolyn King, a parent who has seen the program's impact firsthand. Dr. MacFarland, could you give us a little about the aim of the program? What are you really trying to accomplish with this?
The program is to include individuals ages 18 to 21 in a natural environment. Many of our students stay in school in high school until they're 21, but that's not where college students are. So the major outcome is to have employability, self-determination, and more independent skills, and increase their opportunities with other college students and make friends. So that's the main outcomes.
So it's a little more about life skills perhaps than?
More than that, well, life skills in the big picture for all of us. So having opportunities like all of us do, because many people with intellectual disabilities just didn't have those. And we have been having an inclusive education movement for many years now, and parent advocates and teachers have been striving for a long time to get it into the higher education, post-secondary education for many years. And here it is. We have an initiative and a federal grant to do it.
That's fantastic. And I understand your daughter is in the program?
Yes, my daughter, Annalisa, is one of the first 5 students to start with Project Focus 2 years ago in August.
And how have you found it? Have you found that she's enjoyed it? Is she advanced? What
Unbelievable, unbelievable, and I'm not even sure I can articulate the depth of unbelievable. The main thing is that for my particular daughter, her sense of self, her sense of her ability to make choices, her sense of being able to advocate and to navigate around the world has just increased so dramatically that she's actually getting a little difficult.
So is there a particular event that made you go, wow, this is having an impact on her?
Well, for one thing, for instance, my daughter now takes public transportation called Sunvan on her own to go visit friends around town. She's made friends here at the university, and she's networked with friends from high school and earlier days. And a year or two ago, it would never have occurred to either of us to have her get picked up by the Sunvan at home and transport across town to go volunteer with a friend of hers at a site, or to go just hang out with a girlfriend. I mean, that's what people do when they're 21 years old. They navigate around the world. So huge, huge change in my daughter's life.
Oh, that's fantastic. So how does the program work? Is there some research behind it? Do we just take the kids and kind of throw them in there? Obviously not. So,
no,
so what are you
although
really
some
doing?
days it feels like it. No, there has been some research. It's on a frontier. It's pioneering research. So we have inclusive education, and there's some research now that shows the impact within the primary grades. But in post-secondary ed, it's just budding. Just as is, I just want to add this, like with the iPad. I didn't say this before, but research with the iPad and its impact with students with autism as well as students with varying disabilities has been dramatic, and the research is just coming out. So part of our project, there's 26 other projects around the nation, and we're all collaborating at this central data bank out of Boston. And part of the initiative of this federal grant is that they have a center to collect all the data from all the projects. So we are just getting our first round of data that shows some trends and patterns. And for example, Michael Weimeyer at the University of Kansas is coordinating a collaborative national research study to pool all this data. And the data is going to look at, the data outcomes will look at that employability piece, self-determination especially, for making choices and being more of a self-advocate. So that's a huge piece. But the one-to-one iPad program we have is fairly unique. Not all the programs have that.
So in the last few seconds we have left, what about the bigger cultural context?
Well, I'd love to speak to that, because if you look at what's been going on in our country in terms of inclusion of all sorts of different kind of people, obviously to have students with intellectual disabilities brought to the table of life, just like you want to bring people from foreign countries or people with different gender orientations, there's a huge, I'd say, cross-cultural issue here of valuing the human spirit and honoring the human spirit in all its multiplicity of forms.
Lovely. Thank you so much,
You're
both
so
of you.
welcome.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at an all-time high today, erasing losses from the financial crisis.
We assess what's behind the market rally, coming as corporate profits surge amid continuing worries about unemployment and other problems.
Then we turn to Venezuela, where President Hugo Chavez died today after a long battle with cancer. Margaret Warner looks back at his life and at what comes next for his country.
We examine the budget battles in Washington as Congress begins negotiating yet another stopgap measure.
Judy Woodruff talks with Virginia Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Ken Cuccinelli about his new book on political power.
And we close with the details of 2 new studies showing life expectancy for women in many places in America is actually falling.
That's all ahead on tonight's NewsHour.
The novelist Mohsin Hamid once worked as a business consultant in America and in the very different environment of Pakistan.
There is more corruption, there's more direct violence. These things happen in America too, but the level of it is just more intense.
Mohsin Hamid explores that intensity and how to get filthy rich in rising Asia on the next Morning Edition from NPR News.
We live in a society that values productivity and achievement. Those values can be taxing for the healthiest of us. But if you have a chronic health condition, staying productive and achieving your goals can sometimes feel impossible. Joining me to talk about this further are Norma Ancona, the president of the Tucson Arthritis Support League, and Ashley Lancaster, a University of Arizona student living with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Ashley, you look like a beautiful, healthy young woman. What is juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and when did you know you had it?
Well, juvenile arthritis starts off as a genetic code, and when you're born, it actually is dormant in most of us. And as you live out through your life, you might get certain diseases, like the one that triggered my juvenile arthritis and woken up the gene was Epstein's spar. And what it does is it confuses your immune system and actually makes your immune system attack certain parts of your body. For me, it was mainly my hands, my joints and everything. And then for some people, it could be your knees, your elbows, and other joints like that.
Sounds debilitating. Yeah, it sounds quite painful. So what is the League, and how are you helping Ashley?
Ashley is our recipient of our scholarship award, and we have been with her, and she's been with us since she was a freshman, and we are putting her through school, and we raise that money through a luncheon that we have annually, and it's April 20th this year, and it's at Skyline Country Club, and the theme is Tassel Goes Across the Pond to the UK.
Oh.
So everything will be British, including a bagpiper and Skyline's wonderful scones.
So I understand that this really can be quite a debilitating disease for some people. You have some statistics there, I think.
Yes, these are from the Arthritis Foundation, and it says, did you know that today that there's 50 million men and women and children that are in pain from arthritis, and 140,000 people with arthritis that have to visit the doctor? 3,750 joints will be replaced, and arthritis will be the largest category of disability claims filed.
Wow. So how do you deal with this?
How I deal with this is actually I've tried many different medicines, medications. I've tried working on my diet, tried on sleep and everything, and so far I haven't actually found something that completely helps me with my pain. Most of it actually just only decreases my pain somewhat, and I'm still trying to find something that works for me. It works differently for each and every person, so they can't really have a complete cure for this disease.
And what about being at school? Does it affect your schoolwork? How do you deal with that?
It definitely does. It depends on what your juvenile arthritis is attacking. For me, since it's attacking my hands, writing down notes from the teacher is very hard, and also I have to get extended time for my tests, because if I don't get extended time for my tests, then I won't be able to finish it on time because of how slow I am with writing.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So why did the organization choose choose to give
Ashley, the
yeah,
scholarship.
Exactly.
We have given out $140,000 in scholarships since 1987, and Ashley applied to us. We have a system of people that can apply, and it comes through disability at U of A, and we've had her since as a freshman. So we're very, very proud of her. Tell her what you're in, what class you're in.
I'm an optical engineer at the U of A, so a lot of studying hours.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So what do you do? What do you hope to do with that?
I want to work at Raytheon here at Tucson to work on defense and maybe working on semiconductors, or if that doesn't work, going into photovoltaics and working on solar cells and making alternative energy for here in Arizona.
Oh, so that's wonderful. So does this ever just make you feel, oh my goodness, why me? You seem like so upbeat, really.
It's just something. My attitude has always been kind of, you got to live with what you have. The application I had for Tassel actually said my favorite quote, which is write your injuries in sand and your benefits in marble, and that's from Benjamin Franklin, and it's kind of something that inspired them to pick me.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, good luck with your event, and thank you so much for coming in today.
All right, thank you.
In the fall, the University of Arizona School of Information Resources and Library Science is launching a new degree program. What makes this program different from other degree tracks is its emphasis on preparing students to live and work in our new e-society. Here to explain why this kind of training is becoming increasingly important is Catherine Brooks, a UA professor of Information Resources and Library Science. So I think I understand what e-society means, but why don't you tell us what you mean by it?
E-society is a broad term that incorporates a lot of different human practices to include e-government, e-health, online education. And so there are yearly conferences, for example, to study all things E and talk about all things E. Now, e-society here at the University of Arizona is going to be a broad program that's about society, but it is about contemporary society and living in this digital age. So digital information, online communication, relationship building, and basically all human practices that have sort of moved to incorporate the digital turn.
So this sounds like a ginormous topic. How do you distill this down into a program that you can get into an application for these kids?
It is. It's very broad, which is why we require a minor to go along with the major. It also can be a minor for any undergraduate student here at the University of Arizona. And it's interdisciplinary, so it works across disciplines within the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, but also across colleges here at the University of Arizona. And that's what we're particularly proud of, that we've started with this broad topic and pulled different perspectives and methodologies from across the campus.
So give us some examples. Something that we can really hang our hat on and understand what you're really teaching.
So for example, many departments offer courses in communication technology or online learning in the College of Ed, or computer programming over in computer science. What we've done is we are choosing different topics from different departments. For example, internet law is taught in journalism, so that will give it a different perspective than theories of communication technologies in the Department of Communication, blended with computer programming, artificial intelligence, and some of those courses that are offered over in the School of Information Technology and the Arts. So we're pulling from different facets in order to make this broad program work, as opposed to teaching students just one perspective or one aspect of the digital age. We're trying to pull it all together.
So my head is swimming with all of the different material that you must be teaching with this. So what applications do these, what job applications can these students expect to be filling out after this program?
Well, we've done our homework. We've talked to a number of local employers. We've looked at other programs that are developing across the United States. There aren't many that are as interdisciplinary as ours. We're very proud of the way we're bringing colleges together to work on this very student-centered effort. But we've talked about positions for local employers, for example, in social media marketing might be one choice. Information analytics might be another choice. We now live in a world where we have large piles of data. And so any position will probably involve large amounts of information that need to be organized, preserved, managed, privacy protected. So legal aspects of internet life is important too, and that course will be taught in the journalism department. But employers are ready for graduates to know how to manage information for purposes of business, even in the health community, how to manage digital health information and that sort of thing. So we've talked to a number of employers, and we're pretty confident we can get our students some jobs.
So what excites you particularly about the broader topic here of the e-society?
Well, for me, my background is in online learning, but I have years of experience in communication. So I've always been very interested in communication technologies. For me personally, I study relationships and communities as people do their work online, and that happens across sectors. So across governmental sectors, education, health, museum work, for example. You might have 7 people that want to talk about a particular finding in one particular part of the world. They tend to do that work online these days. So there's a lot of online collaborative working groups that happen across positions and jobs. And I spoke with an architect in Spain who worked on just one particular kind of building and wanted to figure out how to create community among a group of 10 architects across the world that know anything about this one particular kind of building. So online collaborative work takes on a different face depending on the kind of work or the kind of sector. But what I study is how humans get together and do that work in online contexts.
So do you think your program will be producing the next Facebook mogul?
Well, Facebook might be part of it. You know, Facebook is a big social media tool. We've got Twitter, we've got YouTube, we've got lots of tools.
But a new one.
And lots of different tools. Social media is a part of this. It's not all of it. So every student will be required to take programming, online searching, online information management, and lots of theory. So internet theory, internet law. So social media is a part of it. But this is definitely not a degree in social media. We also have large, big data, so large data sets, statistics, computer programming. So we're trying to package that all together so we provide a well-rounded graduate for our employers in the community.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. Thanks.
That's AZ Illustrated Science for this evening. To watch any of the segments again, or to catch up on the day's latest news, visit our website at azpm.org. I'm Jane Pointer. Have a good night.